All right, here we've been given a few complex numbers, all of them in polar form. They want us to divide and then multiply complex numbers in polar form. And the first one, we're going to keep it in polar form. The second one, we're going to convert to Cartesian form. I think it is easier to multiply and divide in polar form rather than in Cartesian form. But as you'll see in our next examples, there you can do it with either method, and it will be very much dependent on what you find easier. Okay, so Z over W. Z divided by W is going to be 10 cis of negative pi on 3 divided by 5 cis of 5 pi on 6. And as we learned earlier, when we're dividing two complex numbers that are in polar form, we can divide the real parts or the real numbers, and then we just subtract the two angles. So we end up with 10 divided by 5, which is 2 cis of negative pi on 3 minus 5 pi on 6. And we can simplify that, lowest common denominator of 6. So I get negative 7 pi on 6. And the most immediate thing you need to say to yourself is, oh dear, negative 7 pi on 6 is not in my domain of negative pi to positive pi. So make a big note there. Not in my domain from negative pi to pi. So therefore I need to turn it into a principal argument. So let's have a quick look. Where is negative 7 pi on 6? Well, if I go all the way around over here, we're going in a negative direction. 6 pi on 6 is negative pi over there, so that's where negative 7 pi on 6 is, to that point there. So there's my negative 7 pi on 6. So that means that that's an equivalent angle to a positive 5 pi on 6. Okay, so I can then say, therefore my principal argument, so this is just the negative 7 pi on 6 is an argument, but my principal argument is 5 pi on 6, and I've drawn a diagram to show that I understand that. So therefore Z over W is going to be 2 cis of 5 pi on 6. All right. Now it says, express UV in Cartesian form. So, and with all of these, where they've asked you to verify your solutions on the GDC, please go to the notes and make sure that you know how to use your calculator for all of these. Now, when we're multiplying two complex numbers that are in polar form, we multiply the real parts and then we add the angles. So UV is going to be root 2 cis of 5 pi on 6 multiplied by root 6 cis of negative pi on 3. And that's going to be root 2 times root 6. Cis of 5 pi on 6 plus my negative pi on 3, and root 2 times root 6 is root 12, which is 2 root 3. Cis of 5 pi minus 2 pi is 3 pi on 6, and that's 2 root 3 cis of pi on 2. Now, once I get it to this point, they want us to write that in Cartesian form. And the best way to do that is to turn the cis into cos plus I sine of theta. So that then becomes 2 root 3 cos of pi on 2 plus 2 root 3 sine of pi on 2 times I. And cos of pi on 2 is just 0. And sine of pi on 2 is 1. So my answer is 2 root 3 I.